Okay, welcome to another video. So in today's video, I'm having here Deepin 20.05. It will be some kind of suggestion, feedback, things I like, things I do not in this very nice looking Linux distro. So first of all, let's see the things I like here and combining with some suggestion and things I don't. So we'll be like here, there, jumping over. And let's see. First of all, I am not going to lie that this operating system looks very good, and the organization of all the settings, all the apps here, the way that users can work on this distribution of Linux is basically fantastic. So it's a good looking distro and it's very customizable. You can basically do almost everything you want in customization, like transparency, effects, accent colors, and it's very, let's say, customizable for all users that want to have their own style, let's say, and good looking of all the stuff here. So first of all, I would like to say that this dock, um, it's a very nice looking, but can have some improvements. Like there is a gap between the dock and the end of the screen. Now transparency is pretty high, so you can't see the gap here. But if I go without transparency, you can see there is a gap between the dock and the edge of the screen. So this thing, it's not very pleasant because when the dock isn't hiding, it will take a lot of space, especially on small screen devices like notebook and device with, let's say, small screens. So as a suggestion would be to optimize, let's say, the space between the dock and the edge of the screen. Another thing I would like to suggest is to include some kind of blur to the blur effect to the dock and customizable one. It's like now we have transparency, but with high degree of transparency, it won't be shown anything basically on the dock. So some blur effect like the terminal, for example. If I'm using the search for the terminal, it's a kind of blurry effect. I applied the blurry effect. So it's kind of nice looking. Another thing will be animations like magic lamp. So in some cases, for example, right here, we can see kind of effect of shaking effect. So it makes look like a cheap implementation of this animation. I would suggest also to improve a bit the quality of animation. Maybe also offer the option to slow down or speed up the magic lamp animation. The things I like also here, there are new improvements, and in addition to the previous version, is now biometric authentication, so you can use Face ID. So you use authentication with face or touch sensors to log in into the system, which is very good and very cool option. Now the security is basically an important feature of every operating system, which is nice. And I can say from the code on GitHub, I researched a bit. It's a pretty transparent and pretty secure distribution, like the open source itself, community is making contributions and assure that security for all users is one of the best. So it's basically, let's say, a trusted distribution of Linux, like most of the others which are today's market. So here we have some information about my computer and the Linux itself distribution. One weird bug I have is mouse sometimes stops working. So if in this video will stop working, I'll have to pause the video, so it will be like not very pleasant. I noticed this with Razer mouse and Logitech both, so I suspect it's kind of a problem with kernel, which is 5.15. I'm not using LTS default kernel because I can't boot the operating system. I guess it's something connected with GPU or hardware problems, so I'm using advanced kernel, like advanced option for the kernel, like 5.15. So it's a release, let's say, kernel, not LTS, which is again, per general, it's pretty stable, but I guess it's a problem with the mouse. So here we have the resolution, the refresh rate, okay. Seems pretty nice. Also, a thing is sometimes when there are updates, will be like a dot here, but in this interface won't be shown any updates, so I'll have to manually check for updates when here is like a dot and see and install the updates. So it would be nice to kind of synchronize the looking of the icon here and the interface on the right side. Another thing here I noticed is with the browsers. So if I open the browser, it's some kind of gap again near the edge, so it is not in full screen. Now I'm placing it in the full screen, and it can actually happen with the default browser too. It goes back in like window mode, not full screen. So if I set the full screen, now is in full screen, but when I will open after some time, it will go again in window mode. So will be a gap here, kind of. So it's again, I guess, an issue, and only happens as far as I noticed with the browsers. With other apps, I haven't noticed any of this issue. Let's see if I'll do the same. I'll maximize, I'll close, wait for a bit, and see if the browser will be reset. Yes, it's reset in window mode. So now I have to every time basically click full screen, so it won't show the gap here near the edge of the above screen, which is again, I guess, an issue. Sometimes also the dock doesn't hide itself when I'm using kind of an app. So basically, I guess smart hide is now activated, can be improved, and maybe have some issues because not always is hiding the dock. Another thing I like here is the new screenshot. Like you can use the screenshot feature. Let's see if I can activate it. So I can use a section of the screen with different options, and it's very nice. It was much improved in version 20.05. Okay, another thing I like here is the resource monitor. As you can see, it's Xorg and X11 framework using here. I would like to see in the future Wayland and more innovative implementation of frameworks from Debian, like Debian 11 and latest firmware from the Debian itself, if it is still based on the Debian branches, like it was in the past, the Deepin. And again, the resource is very nice. I think RAM is a bit high, but it's okay. My RAM is like 64 gigabytes, so it do not use any limit or any restrictions, let's say, for the RAM, because it's a lot of RAM and system is kind of really interacting with the memory. In normal cases, in some reviewers I have seen it's like around 1 gigabyte, can be two, depends on the operating system again, specifications of the PC and the version they are using. So again, it's in customization. We have rounded corners, okay, mouse, dock. I like also the customization, the basically all the customization of the dock. Also, a nice suggestion will be like implementation of the themes in the App Store. So it's like not consistent with now is activated dark theme, and the store doesn't respect the dark theme. So it's like its own theme, and will be nice to respect the dark theme. And here also now is much better the translation, but there are some issues with the apps, like this one. I have updated, I guess it's Archive Manager, but it's written in Chinese, so again, some inconsistency here of the translation, and would be nice to synchronize all the apps here with English language, so it's set English language and to be translated properly here. Also, sometimes speed and downloading the apps is not the best option, let's say, because it can give errors from the server or the speed can be very low. So I guess it's because the servers are far away from my location, so the connection will be unstable and would be some problems of the apps installing there. Also, inconsistent thing is the icons here. As you can see, this one is basically at one side, the story is the biggest, and the Discord is the smallest. So the icons aren't aligned properly with height, and dimension is not the same of these icons. So I can say again, it's a not very nice thing, and in the future I'm hoping it will be improved. So another thing will be here, I haven't noticed in keyboard shortcuts, a shortcut for notifications. So from the keyboard shortcuts, I'm not seeing any shortcut for the notification. So it would be nice to have like a keyboard shortcut for notification center, so we can quickly access the notifications. Ground search is working nice, and as you can see, it is offering the results from even the web and the settings, pictures, files, and other stuff. Shortcut is also pretty interesting. Control space, but can be customizable, which is very nice. And I like this thing. Also, Grand Search is present here. Also, we have some icons like volume, Bluetooth, wired connection, the apps that are running in the background. Here we have power options, shutdown, reboot, suspend, hibernate, logout, and lock. Let's see if I can open the resource monitor. I can from here. So you can see the resource monitor. Let's see if I open another window, place it here. Nice. Effect is like from the Windows 11. I can swap the apps from left to right or the full screen, which is very nice. It is working properly. So it's again a very nice thing. Also, we have here like workspaces, virtual desktops. So there are different workspaces, and also a suggestion can be like we have dynamic workspaces, so it won't be the option to kind of adding manually those desktops, but by default create more workspaces when user want to move the apps over here and there. Also, by default, I have installed again LibreOffice for more recent versions, so it's like the updated version, but by default with Deepin, I think it comes outdated version, so it's older version. Also, would be nice that these apps will be updated in time and have more recent versions. I guess maybe they are following the LTS release, but again, it'd be nice to have more recent apps here. Yes. Let's see this utility. Okay, I'm not going to insert the password. Let's do a neo fetch. Okay, we have here Deepin 20.5, the kernel version, the bash, screen resolution, some specifications. Okay. I think we have here also an option for virtual keyboard. I disabled some of them. So here would be trash bin, and I guess would be the screen keyboard. So I disable because I like to keep the workspace clean and not taking a lot of space from here. Also, we have like sorting the applications with this button. Oh, stop. Okay, scrolling at mouse is in continuous flow, so it goes really speedy, let's say. And it's again sorting like internet, music from media, video applications, graphics, office applications, system, which are by default. Also, one thing is not all the default system apps from here can be uninstalled. Okay, they can be most of them uninstalled, but not all. I would suggest maybe extending the options to uninstall more apps for users that want a really clean experience by default, so will be more minimalistic that way. Many users prefer like having a minimalistic look of the operating system for different reasons, personal preference or saving resources. which would be very nice to have like option to disable and delete most of the stuff here, so experience will be clean and really nice. Another thing also can be improved here is the power options. The power options, there are a lot of options here when especially are on laptop battery. So maybe some kind of minimizing all this stuff here represented and using like the main power options and with option for advanced settings for every power option here. So for users who do not want to see all the configurations here, can have advanced options over the plans itself, so they can see and configure everything, particularly on the specific power plan. Also, some minor things. Okay, things I said, trash and on-board keyboard are disabled. I have disabled them. Okay, I can disable the ground search. So yeah, I can use keyboard shortcuts, so not really necessary to be shown there. Okay, can disable that also. Here we have multitasking view and show desktop. Also, those buttons can be disabled, but I'll keep them for now. Okay, we have sound effects. Sound effects are also pretty nice. I like them at the boot up or shutdown, especially. They are interesting. Some of the users aren't a fan of these effects, but I kind of like them, which is very interesting and unusual, let's say, customization of the distribution itself. So I think I have spoken about most of the things here. Also, I'm testing the distribution on Surface Book from Microsoft. There, the laptop is more specific, let's say, about the Linux distribution because, of course, it was made for Windows, but it works pretty nice there too with the custom kernel for the Microsoft Surface. The open source community are awesome, and they are developing like the kernel specifically for the Surface devices, helping them work properly with all the Linux distributions. And one last suggestion, I think, will be like the store now includes Android apps, so you can install Android apps from here, but it would be nice to have like a separate section for the apps itself, and users can see and know which are actually mobile apps or which one are actually the desktop classic ones. Also, some apps here aren't very high quality, let's say, because, for example, if you try to install Discord from here, it will redirect you to the official Discord link package, so you have to install it from the official Discord webpage and not directly from the store. So it's like a weird implementation of the apps from the store, which some of them uses external, let's say, links and APIs to download the official repository app. In this case, I can easily use the website, so we'll download the .deb file and install the app from the official website. So it's kind of weird not having that option to directly install the app from the store, but rather the redirection for the API to the official. Yes, again, it's present here. Okay, the official app from the store. Okay, so basically that was for today's video. Here also a quick suggestion can be like dynamically this when put the mouse this extension to be like extended automatically an option will be nice also. So we can see this option like when automatic is hidden and show, but it's a minor again quality of life improvement for the future release maybe. In conclusion, I can say it's a nice operating system, so it's a nice Linux distribution. I hope they will continue to develop and make it more innovative and using the latest technologies in the future, so we can have like latest stuff implemented and developed in the distribution itself, and get the latest updates and consistency of the Debian itself and the desktop environment, which is Deepin own desktop environment. It's good looking, it's great, feels nice, but in some areas with details I pointed here may feel cheap and may look not very premium. So for the future, there is a path of always upgrading and improving the things here and there, attention to the details, and big picture also improvements in the overall quality. So thanks again for watching and see you in the next one.